Now, to coincide with the 4th anniversary of the opening of the 2012 Olympic Games, a group of drummers who performed in that ceremony are preparing to release a new single. The track, produced by a member of Basement Jaxx and performed by the Pandemonium Drummers, aims to raise cash for a youth charity. We'll be chatting to some of those involved in a moment. First, let's take a little look at the video for the song.
Something in the unity tonight, taking me to places far and free, makes me find.
There we go, just a real taster of what we can expect. That is a track called Champion. Well, Denis Fernando wrote the song and is part of the drummers, along with Rob Blakemore, who join us now. Thank you very much for coming in. Inspired very much so by what you went through 4 years ago. I mean, many of us still talk about that night, and it was for many the pinnacle of the Games, even though we did so well. You must relive it to this day.
We feel like the luckiest people on earth to be there that night and to be part of what happened there. And I think that there was such a spirit from that ceremony and from the way that so many stories were interweaved, but also ordinary people were being celebrated, that we can't help but relive it. But what's really lovely is that our experience being in the stadium seems to match the euphoria of people who connected with the stories and actually were watching at home, and that's a really lovely thing.
Is that what you tried to encapsulate in this new track, to keep that alive to some extent?
Definitely. I think that since the Olympics, the drummers were so inspired, and other ceremony casts, that we've carried on doing that. We were gifted our drums, so we were able to bring a little bit of the ceremony to everywhere that we went. But also there was that, for me, that the track in some ways is talking about that moment where the cauldron came together, and there was this absolute moment of unity which the whole world saw, and all these fireworks went off. And so there was trying to catch that sense of euphoria in the track, and to say you don't need to win a medal to feel like a champion, to do well, and there's that sentiment in there too.
And Rob, high-profile musicians involved in this, as well as the drummers. You've got the likes of Basement Jaxx backing it. How did that connection come about?
We've worked with Basement Jaxx once before. Basement Jaxx did a Peace Day concert where they invited all different artists from over the world to get involved. Felix liked our merry rabble of people banging drums. I mean, we've done lots of events since the Olympics, and when we worked with Felix on the Peace Day concert, it was such a wonderful spirit of collaboration. Felix, what they do in Basement Jaxx is get lots of different people involved, from huge choirs to different bands, and they mix up collaborations. And it felt like we were back at that opening ceremony, because it was such a spirit of togetherness. And so when Denis played me the song, I've stayed in touch with Felix, and I played it to him, and I said, "What would you be interested in getting involved?" And he said he would. And the way, as soon as he got on board, more and more people started getting involved, and in the recording studio on that day, Felix just outpours love in the same way that we feel happened at the opening ceremony, and there was such a collaborative spirit that, I mean, really, we're very ordinary people, us drummers. We're from all walks of life, and we've done some extraordinary things from that Olympic opening ceremony, and it's the first time most of us had ever been in a recording studio, and Felix just made everyone feel very, 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 very at ease, and brought the best out of everyone, from the professionals to us ordinary folk.
I mean, you say ordinary, but you've stayed together, and like you say, you've done some huge things since the Games, and I think many people will be delighted to know that it wasn't a one-off. You didn't come together just to perform at that ceremony 4 years ago. Since then, you remain in touch, and you've gone on to do different things.
I think we were really lucky in that we were the first Facebook generation of an opening ceremony. So someone literally went round all of the changing room and got everyone to sign up on Facebook. So we were able to stay in touch with almost 1,000 people instantly, and that just meant that that combination with the drums, with the sort of celebrated jubilance that there was about the opening ceremony, meant we were able to get to festivals and perform. We did, the following year, we did Wembley Stadium, the UEFA Champions League Champions League final. But we've also done really small venues, things like crisis shelters performing for the homeless at Christmas and things like that, because we really want to keep that sense of community and sense of connection that came from the opening ceremony with lots of people.
Yeah, and this is a charity single as well. Just give us a quick word on who you want to help with this song.
So the reason that we've chosen the Teenage Cancer Trust is because in 2013 we had the honour of drumming with Stephen Sutton MBE, who people will know as he faced his last days a year later, did a kind of thumbs up sign to face his last days, and actually ended up raising millions for Teenage Cancer Trust as part of his legacy. And we were just so inspired by this absolutely dynamic young man who was facing such an adverse situation with such sort of, you know, lust for life. That we spoke about him all the time. And so when this track came about, and again, the idea of people being champions and not necessarily being, you know, the winners or the people who get the medals, but the ordinary everyday people who are able to do that, that's why we felt that the Teenage Cancer Trust was a really, really worthy charity, and we've dedicated the song to him. And his mum, Jane Sutton, who's been hugely supportive of us, is also in the video, which we're really pleased about. And it kind of comes full circle for us, because the Olympics was, the strapline was Inspire a Generation. And so if we can get to young people and through the Teenage Cancer Trust, one of the singers on the track is actually, two of them actually, our service users of the Teenage Cancer Trust, Melissa Cavanagh and Gina Maloney, and they're absolutely fantastic stars in their own right, really.
It's going to be a strange day, I imagine, for you. Less than 2 weeks to go when that opening ceremony gets underway in Rio. Rob, do you think it will be a time of reflection to think back about what you were doing exactly 4 years to that date, and also how they do in comparison?
Yes, I mean we relive that day almost every day, because it was so special for each of us. We wish them all the best. We've got a lot of our group have gone over to Rio as well to go and help them put on the games. So we've sent people out there. We've given them the message of our track, and we're hoping we can push a bit of our track out there as they go over. But yeah, we wish them all the best.
Denis and Rob, lovely to have you on. Thank you so much for talking to us. And Champion, it's on pre-order now and it's out tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go. That is that new track which has been created, the legacy of the Olympic Games, and it aims to raise money for the Teenage Cancer Charity. That is Champion, and it is out tomorrow. Still to come. Our resident fashion expert Emma Smith will be with us to talk about summer. The temperatures may have dropped, but if we do get a return to the heat we saw last week, she'll tell us what to be wearing in the office.
Boom, 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 boom.